Good job you don't need a helmet for this. Hello everybody, it's Scott here and we are playing through True Skate Plus. It's available on Apple Arcade, so if you have that subscription service, you can download and play that as of now, and I'm currently playing through on my iPad. Now, this game is available on other platforms as well. It's available on Steam, it's available on Google Play, and also in the App Store, but you will have to pay. You can have free-to-play, and then purchase with in-game currency and in-game microtransactions in order to unlock new boards and new places. But with it being Apple Arcade, you get the full experience without any sort of ads or microtransactions. So what this is, you may have guessed from the title, is a skating game, and people claim it to be the hardest skating sim around. And you know what, I've been playing it for a little while and I have to agree with them, it is rather difficult. So in order to get some speed, we are just kicking to the side as you would if you were on a skateboard, and then we are just leaning by pressing on the center of the board, and then through manipulations of tapping on the screen we do all sorts of tricks. So I'm just going to get a little bit of a run up right now and we're going to go kick flip. And that's the problem. You can over egg the pudding a little bit. So I just managed to do an ollie right there. And then we're just going to go whoop and over. And this is where I found a lot of the difficulty. There's a little bit of sensitivity that I think you're able to change within the settings, but I just found it really difficult to play. So I'm just going through in this underground place right now. It's really simple. As you can see, it's just a big space. So if I try and show you some of the moves, which I do not have, we're going to get a little bit further and then boom. Okay, that was a hard flip right there. And then that was, I'm getting points for this primo slide, but I'm not even intending that to happen. So we're going to flip over there. That was an ollie. And then, okay, a hard flip there. Now, this is one of the courses. This is the Glass House, I believe it's called. We're going to go into here. I'm going to show you the other places as well, the skate parks. We have the workshop, which I'm currently downloading, but the skate park underpass. Now, this is where you're able to do a lot of the grinds, a lot of the jump flips as well. So that looked great. A nightmare flip, totally unintentional. Can I even get up the stairs? Nope. Okay, we're just going to go down the stairs. I'm just going to show you what this actually looks. Oh my goodness. Now, I will say it is, because now I'm on the stairs. It's not the best controls wise. Maybe it's a skill issue on my behalf, but as I'm going through, I'm finding it really difficult to actually play. And people have said, I've looked at other reviews and I've looked at other videos, and people have said this is a really difficult skating sim. And yeah, I get it. The other games, like you can imagine, like Pro Skater, Tony Hawk and all of that, there's a little bit of fun within that, the craziness of it. And you know, I think having the actual character standing on your avatar who you get to choose, and that changes a lot of the stuff. But where this is just focusing directly on the board, it seems a little bit tricksy, because obviously you've got to imagine that it were your feet. So if I just have almost one finger on the side as if it's my foot going off the board, and then using both of my fingers in order to sort of tap, that does make it seem a little bit okay. But I think controlling a character instead than having a button input or tapping the screen in order to make them do that would make it a little bit easier. There is an option here, which I'm going to show you, where you can actually have the skateboarder's legs showing. So now we've got the skateboarder's legs. Will that make it a little bit easier? Let's have a look. So they're standing differently. See, I don't have a skateboard, I have a longboard, and I don't stand this way around, so it's actually a little bit difficult for me to imagine. But I suppose that does make it a little bit easier, but now I'm just standing on the side of it. Yeah, I will say it isn't the most intuitive game to play. Now, it being on Apple Arcade, as I say, you do have the free full game experience, but there are limitations. I'm going to show you right now. So in the skate parks themselves, we have all these different things, but you have to get more parks, and then go into the shop, and these require a key. And then to get the key, you have to keep on playing. You do earn coins the more tricks that you do, and then those coins, you're able to purchase all these different stuff, like the different wheel colors. But when the wheel colors for like light yellow are 9,500, that's a lot. 20,000 for a new deck and some grips. That's a lot of money. So you'd have to play for a very long time. Now, considering it is a premium experience, that seems a little bit ridiculous. I mean, you've got 10,000 coins in order to get this planter ledge so that you can put into your own custom skate park, something that you yourself can design and make. But you'd have to play for hours and hours and hours just to be able to afford a couple of decorations. And that seems like it's a little bit limited, especially for a premium experience. So I'm just going to try out this new skate park that I finally managed to download, the Workshop. So that underpass that had all of the ramps and all of the lifts, the glass house was just sort of open. And now this, yeah, it's kind of the same. There's not really much to it. It's just this big open space. And it's a little bit, I would say, disappointing. You can get into the DIY and add stuff in, like here. We can add this here. And then, will that do it? Okay, hang on. Let me try and figure this out. And add that there. And then I'm going to add this corner down here. Will that work? Yep. And then where was it in relation to? Oh, okay, so great. So now you can add a few different things in. And we do have a choice of stuff. I'm going to show you the things that we have. We have some rails here. And then I'm just going to add another one there. But there's not really... Okay, there we go. That was the issue I was going to bring up, but I just figured it out. It's not the most intuitive. That's something I'm going to say. It isn't the most intuitive. And maybe it's something I have to play more. Maybe it's something I just have to get used to. But just jumping in and wanting to go, hey, let's have a look at this. It hasn't been the easiest onboarding. So I'm going to add a couple of rails. I'm going to add this bench over here as well. And I think if you were to decorate a lot of this stuff, yeah, you'll be able to make some cool courses in that. But considering this is one of the other levels that you're able to play, it feels a bit lifeless. It really does. Like, yeah, this is the workshop and great and everything, but it just feels a little bit lifeless. And consider it's meant to be a true-to-life skate sim. Just watch this. As I go under here, if it's meant to be true to life, how can I pass through easily? I did just clip through one of these things here under this. There we go, just like that. Like, that would wipe your legs out. Do you know what I mean? And it did prevent me from going through that center bit, which I suppose is fine. But yeah, okay, so it does block a little bit. So there is some realism. But I did just notice when I clipped through that corner, I was like, ugh, maybe I'm just looking for too much devil in the detail. Okay, so the swap feet, that's good. That makes it a little bit more what I recognize. But jumping up here, everything just seems a little bit off, is what I would say. So if I go back into this skate park underpass, am I able to do any DIY in here? No. So these things you have to complete the mission. Okay, so these are all the missions that you're able to do. So I managed to do a few of them. Follow me, follow the path to the finish. Okay, let's start that. Let's do this. So then having these little, oh goodness, having these little quests, let's retry that. As I'm saying, it is a little bit difficult. I'm just going to go slow here and barely move. Okay. Right. Continue on that. So I've unlocked rather something for the DIY. Okay, then let's try and unlock this. Pop shove it to the stairs. Follow the path and match all the tricks. Okay, so pop. Nope, that wasn't it. That was a double hard flip. Let's retry that again. Bam, bam. Yep. Oh, I'm just going to cancel that mission. This is the thing. It hasn't been the best of experiences. I'd say it looks okay. But when you actually look at the textures of the objects, they're kind of not fully rendered, and that's a bit ugh. I mean, the deck itself looks good, but the actual environmental around it doesn't look the best. And so for a premium title, considering it's through Apple Arcade, so you get the premium experience, it's not the greatest. And I would say I have played other skating games which have been a lot more fun and a lot less punishing. If you were a hardcore skating sim enthusiast, then yeah, I can imagine this would definitely be that experience. And like having a little fingerboard, those little trick decks, it's that sort of experience where you're just going through and you're trying to make tricks with just the tips of your fingers, but there doesn't really seem to be much. And once you've gone through and you've maybe done a little bit of DIY and you've done a few tricks and you've managed to conquer a few of the places, then yeah, okay. What else is there to do? There doesn't really seem to be that much. And as I say, in other skating games that I've played, like Tony Hawk's, there's a little bit more fun to it because there's a level of ridiculousness to it. There are so many other stages. There are so many other things to do. There are secrets, yada, yada. But with this, it's just the sim experience. And if you're not the biggest fan of that, then I don't think you're going to be the biggest fan of this. And I will have to say, I haven't been impressed. There's a level of difficulty within it. The look of it isn't that great. And it just seems a little bit empty. A little bit empty. So maybe if you're an enthusiast, then you will love what you see. But if you're just a casual gamer wanting to check this out, I think there are other games in Apple Arcade or just available on the App Store and Google Play Store that you will enjoy instead. And just one little note, you can only play it in portrait. So I'm playing on my iPad right now, and it's only available in portrait. I want to have the landscape experience, and I can see, yeah, sure, I can understand, but I think maybe if you're able to swap that as well, that may change a little bit. Oh, that was my dude just ragdoll in there. Oh, goodness, that was horrific. So, yes, anyway, my friends, I'm going to end it here as I just crash into these rails and say this has been TrueSkate Plus. What do you think? Have you played this before, and will you be playing it on mobile? And do you agree with my criticisms of it? Is it just a skill issue on my behalf, or is it just a little bit empty? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But for now, my friends, luck and watch you all, and catch you next time.